so you guys have been around since about '06.
Yeah.
You have 3 records out. The first one, Random Portraits of the Home Movie. Second, there's Loud Laughter Everywhere. And then actually just today, you have your brand new record, Dream Suspends Night, released.
This guy's educated. Listen to that. Just banging off that. That's memory.
That is memory.
Wow.
That's from playing memory when I was a kid.
Yeah, this is the day. The 30th anniversary of the eruption of Mount St. Helens.
Right.
It's also the day that the new Head Like Kite album comes out.
So you totally planned that.
Totally planned. We've been working on this album for 30 years. It's finally done.
I'm so happy for you guys. And I should mention that you have a show coming up this Friday at Numos, right?
Numos, May 21st.
Right.
Yeah, it's an album release show, so we're super excited about that. We, good friend of ours, Daedalus, great electronic producer, is flying up from LA especially for this show.
That's cool.
Yeah, so he'll be up there with us, and The Emergency also. And Terry Radjaw from Mad Rad and Fresh Espresso will be spinning between sets, so I think it's going to be a great night.
Now, you guys are, you brought in a lot of props and, like, costumes and stuff. What's up with that? I mean, I've seen some of your video from live shows.
Yeah.
And so, why?
The concept for Head Like a Kite Live is to really throw a party. And so we always have costumes and confetti and lots of stuffed animals. We have a panda. Lots of excitement on stage. And so it's got to the point now where I actually feel uncomfortable without, you know, a few heads and astronaut masks and boas nearby.
Yeah.
So it's kind of weird, you know, at home, walking around in like pajamas with a boa and, you know, glasses, but you know, you got to do it. You got to keep it going, keep it exciting.
You have to stay in your character, which is your real life.
Exactly.
But really, Dave, on a metaphorical level, it's about a multiplicity of personas. There's Dave Einmo,
right?
Then there's Dave Einmo, the musician on stage,
right,
rocking the free world.
And then there's also the Dave Einmo in the home movies that you see of him being, what, 8 years old, maybe? So the first record, your first record, now, Trent, you're, we were talking earlier, you're the live percussionist, and then you're on some of the records playing instruments?
I'm on, there's Loud Laughter Everywhere, and this one,
Okay.
And the new one,
Okay. And so what's really cool about your first record, Random Portraits of the Home Movie, is that, Dave, you stumbled upon, what, some old Super 8 footage that your parents shot back in the day?
Yeah, it was one of those weekends where I was just hanging out with the family at my parents' house, and they were going through stuff that they wanted to get rid of, and there was this big box of all these Super 8 home movies that my dad had shot over the years.
Yeah.
And he's like, you know, we don't really need these anymore. Why don't we just digitize these and then we'll just throw the film away? And I was like, Dad, you can't do that. Let me watch some of this stuff. And so we just set it up, and while we were watching it, we were recording it.
Yeah.
And it was just an amazing experience to see.
Can I put on one of your masks, by the way?
Certainly.
Please do.
Okay.
Just
I don't want anyone to feel uncomfortable.
Axl Rose, Darth Vader.
There's all kinds of hats.
The V
That
from
one.
Vendetta?
Right.
V.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Also, Mike McConnell from Vita. That's also
That's
his
actually
character.
him, yeah.
That's it.
Big
All
prop
right.
to Mike McConnell.
Mike McConnell.
I think this is all right. It's kind of awkward, but so I don't know how this is picking up, but continue.
So anyway, I was watching these films, and I really enjoyed seeing this stuff, and not only from, you know, personal memory perspective, but just seeing a different era. You know, a lot of these films were shot even before I was born, and so it was really interesting to see the architecture and the lighting and the cars and just the way people dressed.
Yeah.
In that period, and so. I asked my dad, hey, would you be cool if I just sampled some of these sounds? Because his camera also had audio, not just the film.
Right.
He's like, yeah, okay, sure. I don't think he realized when I said that it was going to end up, you know, being on NPR and MTV and stuff like that.
And so how do your parents feel about being immortalized now on your records?
It was a little weird. The first time they saw us live, we were on tour, and we were in California, and they happened to be in California on vacation. They showed up at a show. And I remember saying to Trent, this is going to be kind of weird, because we're going to be playing, and they're going to be looking up, seeing us playing, as well as projection of themselves behind them.
And one of the shots is, I believe your father's shooting a moon, or?
Well, one of the shots is my dad in Hawaii videotaping my mom as she's going into the ocean, and then he sees a naked woman on the beach, and immediately the camera sort of moves away from my mom and zooms into this naked sunbather.
Right.
So I don't know if my mom ever even saw that film to know that my dad had done this, but now it was there for everyone to watch. And I remember some interesting discussions after that.
You know, this mask gets quite sweaty on the
Because
inside.
people don't realize the sacrifice you have to make.
Yeah.
With the Panda, it's intercooled. There's a cooling system. We've filtrated into the tubes and
I believe
cold
it.
water.
And Panda's at every show?
Every show. Until we have to give Panda back. There's rumor that
Or
this
put
may
Panda
be
to sleep?
the last tour for Panda.
Really?
Yeah.
Is this the first time he's hearing about this?
This is a little awkward.
Yeah.
But we have had some issues with rabies, and it's possible we will have to put him to sleep after the new Mo show.
Well, that's kind of a shame.
So that's another reason to come.
Yeah,
This
definitely.
This could be the Panda's last Seattle show.
People, if they didn't really know you, which maybe some of them don't, they could think that you're kind of into a weird sexual fetish with furries.
You know, it's funny that you would mention that, because
That is funny.
not too long ago, somebody asked by chance, is that the case? And I have to be sort of naive here in saying I wasn't aware that this fetish was quite as pronounced as it is.
Hey, let's...
Dave, you were saying when we were playing the song that you originally, when you were creating your first record, were you saying that your idea was to create a soundtrack to the last 5 minutes of Taxi Driver?
Exactly. That was sort of what I was thinking would be. I like to write music while looking at something visually.
Yeah.
So that's why working with my parents' films became such a natural. But it actually was because my idea was to take those last 5 minutes of Taxi Driver as sort of inspiration, and then create this just cacophony of just aggressive sound that then I would remix into a pop song.
Because the last 5 minutes, that's when he's entering the building trying to find what's her face,
It gets a little
Jodie Foster.
Yes, and it gets a little violent and just intense.
Yeah.
But I also think the way Scorsese shot that, the lighting, the anticipation, I mean, it's a lot of what he did with that is a lot about how you would write a song. You know what I mean? In the sense of using those same elements to create a song, building that tension and delivering big impact. I mean, when you're writing a song, that's basically what you're trying to do.
Definitely.
So that's why watching certain visuals, I think, are great sort of inspirational tools. And that was my idea. I was going to do that. And then that same weekend, I was at my parents' house, and I was watching these home movies like we were talking about earlier. And I thought, wow, this makes way more sense for me to use these films. It's going to be much more personal, and it was one of those things where just instantly it felt like the right thing to do. We're pretty excited because we got a new album coming out on vinyl.
Dave I Know, Head Like a Kite. Trent Mormon, Head Like a Kite.
Panda.
Back
here.
Head Like
So
a
we
Kite.
got the new album. It's called Dream Suspend Night. It's coming out in Cafe Vita Records. They're putting up a special vinyl version of it. And not only that, they're also going to be brewing up a special coffee called Head Like a Kite Reserve that you can only get at the Cafe Vita coffee shops. Very excited about that.